Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, make for uneasy neighbors. Both sides claim the other is hell-bent on destabilizing their governments and breaking previous agreements and international norms. Rwanda accuses the DRC of collaborating with the forces Démocratiques de Libération du Rwanda, or FDLR. The rebel group's stated goal is to overthrow the Rwandan government. The DRC, for its part, accuses Rwanda of violating its sovereignty by supporting the Mouvement du 23 Mars, March 23 movement, M23. The rebel group, along with several others, is active in the DRC. A recent UN report backs up Kinshasa's claim. In a 131-page report, the group of experts on the Democratic Republic of the Congo detailed its allegations. Kigali, on the other hand, called the findings false allegations. Rwanda is a country with a population of 13 million people and an area of 26,000 square kilometers. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, on the other hand, has a population of 90 million people and a land area of 2.3 million square kilometers. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, is located west of Rwanda. The two countries have a 217-kilometer border. Tensions between the two countries date back to the 1994 genocide in Rwanda, which resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutus. Many of the perpetrators of the violence fled to the DRC, which was then known as Zaire. Rwanda's post-genocide government launched military operations in an attempt to bring the perpetrators to justice. Rwanda believes the DRC is still a haven for those responsible for the 1994 attack. Both countries have been involved in two major wars and numerous skirmishes. They have also experienced periods of stability and trade growth. The most recent tensions, however, are cause for concern. They risk destabilizing the region of Eastern Africa, disrupting trade routes and facilitating the formation of opportunistic militia groups. The issue was on the agenda of U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken when he visited 3 African countries in August 2022. He met with Congolese and Rwandan leaders to discuss a peaceful resolution to the conflict. However, given the history of turbulence in relations between the two countries, it is debatable whether Blinken's visit will result in any significant reduction in tensions. The recent events are not novel. Both countries harbor long-held mistrust of one another. Let us begin by looking at how these events began. The Rwandan government has kept a close eye on the DRC since the 1994 genocide. While July 4th is commemorated in Rwanda as the end of the genocide, it was only a temporary pause. Rwanda went after those it believed were behind the attacks and were hiding in Zaire after 2 years of inaction from the then Zaire president, Mobutu Sese Seko. It conducted military operations that precipitated the First Congo War, 1996 to 1997. This war had 2 goals. The first step was to close the refugee camps that housed the survivors of the genocide. A total of 2 million refugees were pushed back into Rwanda. The second goal was to depose Mobutu because he was providing a safe haven for genocide perpetrators. In May 1997, the Zairean dictator was deposed. The war was over in 9 months. Laurent Kabila and his Alliance de Forces Démocratiques pour la Libération du Congo Zaire, Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo, AFDL, seized power with Rwanda's backing. However, the Second Congo War, 1998 to 2003, quickly followed. This was triggered by 2 events. First, the dismissal of Congolese Defense Minister James Kabarebe, a Rwandan who was largely responsible for the First Congo War. Second, Congo's support for the surviving genocide forces, the Armée pour la Libération du Rwanda, Army for the Liberation of Rwanda, FDLR. The Second Congo War lasted 5 years. Millions of people died as a result of it. This was due to the actual fighting as well as an increase in disease and malnutrition. Because the war was not quickly resolved, various parts of the DRC were taken over by militia groups or the governments of neighboring countries. Even allies at the beginning of the war, such as Uganda and Rwanda, fought each other. The Pretoria Agreement in 2002 eventually resulted in the withdrawal of Rwandan troops from Congolese territory. Nonetheless, Rwanda maintains that Congo supports genocide survivors, now known as the FDLR. DRC, for its part, accuses Rwanda of supporting Congolese rebel groups such as the Congress National pour la Défense du Peuple, CNDP, and the M23. Kigali is currently divided. The Rwandan government is divided on the future of relations with its massive neighbor. One group of policymakers sees the DRC as a constant threat to Rwandan security. They see the Congolese military as ineffective in combating forces stationed in the DRC that are explicitly opposed to the Rwandan government, such as the FDLR. This group frequently dominates public policy decisions in Rwanda's foreign relations with the DRC. However, there is a second group that is focused on the economic benefits of closer Rwandan-Congolese relations. They believe that Rwandan development should prioritize the export of locally produced goods to the Congolese market, which has 90 million potential customers. Many members of this group believe that the economic benefits outweigh the security concerns, which they believe have diminished in recent years. Following the election of Félix Tshisekedi as Congolese president in 2018, relations between Rwanda and the DRC improved. This included increased trade between the two countries. For a time, it appeared that Rwandans seeking reconciliation with Kinshasa had the upper hand, implying a bright future for the two countries. However, these expectations have been dashed in recent months. Again, the dominant narratives involve allegations of DRC collaboration with the FDLR and Rwanda collaboration with M23. The two countries are likely to experience periods of stability and tension in the future. Another major conflict, such as the Congo Wars, is unlikely, but ongoing tensions prevent trade integration between the two countries, which would boost development and peace. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories.